Yo, what is going on, Steeler Nation? We are back with episode 316 of the Steel Factory podcast, live from the North Oakland studio. I'm joined by Junior, the one and only.
What's going on, guys? Another exciting week.
Another great week. You know, we had the bye week, and before that, we had Ravens week. So riding a little two-game win streak. 3 weeks without losing because of the bye. So we're in good spirits. 4-2. Don't know how, like everyone keeps saying, but we're here. What did you think of Sunday's game?
I had it in the back of my head that we had a good chance. I think, listening to a lot of shows last week, I get basically all my information on like other teams from podcasts and stuff. I don't have enough time to be watching every game. If I'm watching Red Zone, it's mainly just for like keeping track of like fantasy.
Yeah.
So I don't know other teams like super intimately aside from like fantasy relevant players, but I had an idea that the Rams don't have their starting running back, who's very good, who's been having a really good year, Kyron Williams, and they're gonna be kind of one dimensional going into Sunday, and that would be really good for us because our defense can put up really good performances if we can go in on one thing, right? If we have a good game plan, and we definitely have the talent to like make game breaking plays, and we definitely had some of those with TJ's interception and some good sacks, and I mean it seems like we schemed up.
We minimized Cup
really well.
He had two catches for like 20 yards, but on the other hand, Nakua was a fucking problem.
I think. Well, here's the thing though. I think it's like, do we let Cup beat us or do we let Nakua beat us? And I think if we try to let Cup beat us, we might have had a different game.
We probably would have had it. We probably would have lost. Let's be real.
Yeah, like
Nakua's
good job, been great, but he's not Cup.
Yeah, he's obviously. I at least said not at this point. But yeah, great performance by the defense. Held it down in the second half or the fourth quarter. I knew if we could just get into the fourth quarter only down one score. I don't know what's up with this team, man. I starting to get a lot of confidence in them if we could only be like in a one-score game or only down one score going into the fourth quarter. And then same shit again on offense. Look, just so much going wrong on the offensive side of the ball through the first three quarters, and then I don't know what happened in the fourth, but they look near perfect. I thought I saw Kenny was like 7 for 7. I brought the stats up. Kenny 7 for 7 for 138 yards in the fourth quarter, led 2 scoring drives, and then we iced the game on that last. Oh, what do you think of that 4th and 1?
I mean, they showed the angle, but I think I feel good about it.
I mean, it's not my fault. McVay had no more timeouts left.
Hey, that's true. Hey, that's on him. That's on him. That's poor game management on McVay's part.
Yeah, fool. Tallman outcoached him.
Yeah.
But I mean you could say that. I mean, that was our defensive scheme. Yeah.
Look. Here's another stat. Here's another reason I felt. This is why I bet the spread on my lures, and I bet the under because I know this was going to be a low scoring game, and both of those paid out. Good for me.
Shit. Good for you. Congratulations to you on all your success.
Tomlin is the only coach in like the last 20 years who has a very winning record against the spread.
Right. He brought that up a lot in the group chat.
Yeah, because I needed people to know. And then Tomlin is one of the only coach.
13-4 off the bye week too in his career. That is shit. So you gotta tip that.
Tomlin after a bye, as a dog, like all of these things are coming together, and it's just like too many good trends for us to pass up. Even though you don't feel good about the Steelers, even though you might not feel good about the Steelers offense being able to compete with like a Cooper Kupp, Matthew Stafford offense, but there you have
score
it.
for score with them. No, yeah, you can't.
You
can't. In my logic, it was we suck on the West Coast, but we're coming off of bye, so they'd cancel out. So it would just be a typical matchup for us. But we pulled through. But yeah, I mean, we just got to figure out why we can't get that offense we had in the fourth quarter for the rest of the game. I mean, some of the fucking throws Kenny had in that fourth quarter were amazing, and it just really showed how much Deontay meant to this offense. and how open he gets. There was a couple other plays too at the beginning of the game that got called back because of these stupid penalties. I think George had like this blindside block.
Oh yeah.
The unnecessary roughness calls.
Or,
I mean, our
the
receivers are just
Deontay.
dogs, dude. Yeah, Deontay
Yeah.
had one too. Taunting or whatever.
Dude,
I
it's
mean,
almost like
just boys
Kenny's
being
like a
boys.
wind up toy. He takes like 2 hours to really get going.
Yeah, I mean, could throw the bye week on there too, but I mean, every other game's like that. So, I mean, that's probably the best offense looked since the Raider game, I'd say. That fourth quarter is the best quarter we've had on offense in like 2 years, I'd say, right?
Definitely.
And it's gonna take that to go with the Jags this upcoming week. But yeah, that was an awesome game. Had a lot of fun out there. That freaking little short I posted of me fucking counting my beers is blowing up as we speak. It's weird. I feel like pregame beers don't really count. Like I feel sober up as soon as I walk into the stadium. That was a good
You count
time.
you're gonna count your shots on Thursday night next week.
Dude, I am not taking shots, dude. Maybe after.
Right. Victory
After the game, we'll little quick meal, we reset, and then we get after it. Oh no, you have a flight the next day. Oh fuck.
at 11. I could swing it.
We'll see. Yeah, but next week should be good as well. I'm really excited. We have a 3-game homestand right now. You never really see this happen, right? 3 straight home games. And we're really gonna get into the thick of November now. This is when games really start picking up here. You got to be playing your best ball. It's good to know that we could play like shit and still win this first part of the schedule. But yeah, we find ourselves at 4-2, basically half a game behind the Ravens, only because we've had our bye week so far. Do you like where we stand right now?
I mean, look, we're 4-2, and I feel like we've done nothing but like shit on the team. So if things pick up, then I feel pretty good, especially going into what I consider to be an easier part of the schedule. No more Niners, no more. Who else did we lose to?
Texans, who actually dicked the Jags.
The Texans did dick. I was gonna mention that. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll bring that up later once we get to the Jags portion of the podcast. But yeah, dude. I mean, the only really tough part I see coming up is those back-to-back games in Ohio. I think we have the Bengals, then the Browns, in the middle of November. Should be interesting, but if we could stack some wins, give ourselves some leeway for those games, we'll be all right. I mean, they are division games; you got to take them nonetheless. They could be toss-ups as well. Again, I saw another stat too. The AFC North is 6-0 in the last 2 weeks, so
Shit.
fucking A, right?
It's tough to get a lead.
Yeah, dude. I mean, the only hope is that the Bengals play like the Niners this week. I haven't checked who the Ravens and Browns play. But yeah, dude, that was fucking awesome. Great to win on the West Coast. I think Kenny has more wins in the Pacific time zone than Ben had his whole career at this point. I didn't know what the fuck was up with Ben, dude.
The Ravens play the Cardinals and the Browns play the Seahawks.
Ravens, Cardinals, Browns, Seahawks. Okay, that Browns game could go either way. You never know. I don't even know if Deshaun plays anymore this season.
Deshaun seems like he's hurt. Like, or you know what? They said they pulled him out and they pulled him out for a concussion, but then they give him his helmet back, so it means he doesn't have a concussion. But they didn't put him back in the game, so I don't know. Deshaun pulled off like the greatest heist in history, dude.
Unbelievable. I guess since we have to, Canada called a pretty good game. I'm not gonna deny it. Canada called a pretty good game, especially in the fourth quarter. Everything on offense just looked good. The run game looked good. Good to get our first rushing touchdowns of the fucking season. We had three. But yeah, I mean, I want to get excited about that offense that we saw in the fourth quarter, but I'll really get excited if we can see it for a full game. And what do you think it's gonna take? Is it really just execution and just not getting those costly penalties on like third downs and shit, getting behind the stick, staying on staying on schedule, stuff like that. It's really just the basics, right?
I mean, big thing is Kenny maturing a little bit more. I think he takes a while to get going. You could say like, oh, it's the offense as a whole, but I mean, the offense is a quarterback at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Um, and you got to clean up the execution and stuff. But I think we're close. I think Kenny can probably bring that fourth quarter sort of play earlier into the game as the season progresses a little bit more, and especially now that you have someone like Deontay on the offense that makes it so easy to really get into a rhythm. That's just the kind of player that he is, like
Warm up
really quick
easier, yeah,
throws.
quicker, yeah.
Yeah, he's always he always gets open on his routes. Like he's one of the best route runner in the league. So having someone like that really helps the quarterback get into a rhythm, and then having Pickens,
What a
is definitely going to
dog,
help
by the
us.
way, dude.
Yeah, dude,
Back
huge catches.
shoulder, catching it in space, making moves after the play. Dude is a freak, man. And I think he had another 100-yard game. I think that's 3 on the year. I think someone said he might be on pace for 1,400 yards this year. We'll see with Deontay
That's
back
huge.
now. Ideally, those dudes are getting close to triple digits in yards every fucking game. Um, I like that we didn't really even spread the ball around that much. It was literally just GP and Deontay, right?
Yeah.
I looked
Oh
at the
yeah.
stats too. Like they each had like 5, 7 catches, and then no one else had like more than 2 or 3. Things will change when Frymouth gets back. That'll even bolster us even more. I think if you just put him on IR before this game, that kind of sucks. Um,
Yeah, he's not coming back for like a month.
yeah, it's 4 games minimum now, right? So at
Yeah.
least I guess after probably those Bengals Browns games he comes back. We'll see. But yeah, it was a hammy, so that's not a good sign. That he looked like he was practicing and then he tweaked it. Um, yeah, like I said, I'm like really close to getting excited here. I loved what I saw out of Kenny. I love what I saw out of our receivers. Good to see Najee and Jalen Warren get their touchdowns. But yeah, let's just keep it rolling. On to what are we, week 8 now?
Yep.
Jaguars coming into town. Trevor Lawrence, they're riding like a 4-game win streak. Um, can Kenny get his lick back after Trevor beat him in the ACC championship like 5 years ago?
I don't know. Can he? That's on you.
I don't know, dude. This is one of the like quarterback matchups that I was kind of highlighting when the season came out or the schedule came out. Um, just to see like Kenny against another like young quarterback. Obviously Trevor way behind schedule. This guy basically complete opposite of Kenny, highly recruited out of high school, went to a big name school in Clemson, and then now he's #1 overall pick, and he's looked like he's turned that franchise around already. Especially he was the epitome of that second year breakout quarterback, right? And a lot of that was due to like him actually getting a fucking good coach and not Urban Meyer.
Yeah.
But yeah, another thing too, first time the Jaguars come to Pittsburgh since that AFC divisional game in 2017. How's it feel?
I mean, hopefully
Well,
we
we
get
watched
some.
that game together. I was at your house. Oh my
Yeah. Hopefully we
god.
get some revenge.
Yeah. That's crazy that I bring that up because that playoff game was in 2018 and then the ACC championship was in 2018. So wow, a lot going back to 2018. 5 years is crazy. Um, what's the keys to victory here?
I mean, keys to victory, I think, is finding a way to stop ETN. The Jaguars have been surprisingly like pretty light on the passing touchdowns, right? Uh,
For a
like Calvin
quarterback,
Ridley,
like a
yeah,
really good like throwing quarterback,
like
yeah.
yeah, like when you think of the Jaguars, the big players, Lawrence, and then that lends itself to Ingram and Christian Kirk, and then Calvin Ridley. Like, oh my God, like their receiving core like is great, but they're like passing, uh, like the danger in the passing game isn't really it's not as dangerous as you think it should be, right? And
Okay.
then ETN is really what's like carrying that offense with the points, and then just being able to like consistently break away for big plays and huge chunks. Uh, so and that's kind of scary. I think I think the Jags are a lot more balanced than the Rams, so
Yeah,
that's a
I could
little
say, yeah.
spooky.
You do like the Rams
Uh,
coaching more, but yeah, I agree. The Jags. look more all around as a better offense. Don't really have, because another thing too about our schedule is we face like these behemoths in the pass rush on the D line. This first part of the schedule, we had Myles Garrett, Max Crosby, Bosa, Aaron Donald last week, and I heard that a lot of what my Canada did was just run the opposite side of him. Don't even run his way. Do the Jags have a guy like that we're just gonna have to completely avoid, or are we gonna be able to kind of open things up now?
I'm not sure if the Jags have a guy like that. I don't think they have a guy like that. Not on that
We would know,
on
right?
that
Not to
tier.
that, yeah, not to that tier.
Yeah, they don't have that star power in the line.
Right. Because the O-line did look a little bit better last week, even though Dan Moore was starting. Everyone was getting kind of heated, us included. We'll see how the O-line holds up again this week. Yeah, I mean, obviously the keys on the offense side, just get going early, right? Let's not get down.
Yeah,
I mean,
like
if
you
we
said
are
before,
down, if it's only one score going into the fourth quarter, I kind of have the confidence
exactly.
because I don't know
That's
how
exactly
we
what I was
pull it
gonna
out.
say.
I don't know how we pull it out, but we do every time.
Yeah, I think anything more than one score, it feels like you're down like 30 with this
Because
Canada
there
offense.
was a point where the Rams were driving as the third quarter was winding down. I think that led to like that second missed field goal.
Hmm.
Um, and then we got the ball back and we drove right down and we fucking tied it up. But yeah, there's a game did start to feel like it was gonna slip away when the Rams were about to put up a second or make it a 2 touchdown game. I was like, yeah, if they score here, it's fucking over. But who knows, dude? We ended up scoring 2 touchdowns in that fourth quarter. I don't think we scored multiple touchdowns in a quarter all year, right?
Have we scored
Fuck no.
multiple touchdowns in a game?
That's fucking true as well. Fuck, dude. But yeah, who's gonna be your breakout player for this game? Who's gonna step up? Who's
Breakout-
your anytime touchdown scorer?
Anytime touchdown score,
No, no,
I'm
it could. I
getting.
mean, it could be two different things. Who's your breakout player? Who's your anytime touchdown guy?
Well, both are the same guy. I'm going all in on Darnell Washington. He's had a couple weeks
Oh,
to integrate himself into the offense a little bit more with Muth out. And I think he's finally gonna have himself a day. Maybe Hayward is gonna steal the touches from him, but I really really want to see this guy go out there and be a part of the offense, even if it's just blocking.
right, right. Is that starting to worry you that he only has one reception, or might even be like one or two targets through these first 6 games, knowing Move's been out for 2 of them? Are you starting to get
I don't
worried?
think
Because I think it's more on the system, right?
I'm not too worried. I think he was a guy that was whose pass catching ability was more of like a project. You know,
Right,
he
right.
was he was always more of a like, oh my god, this could be like your fucking sixth offensive lineman. You know, he's a behemoth of a guy who's like actually decently athletic and can go out and catch some balls.
Hmm.
Um, I think um, I think it's just gonna take a little bit of time to figure out, uh, places where he fits in the offense. So even
I
if
see
it's
that.
not this year where we see him work his way in, and it's gonna be a little harder with Muth, I still think there's potential for him to be uh something like hopefully like a 1B in a way, in a sense.
Yeah, I mean, you
You
want to
know,
see that. I mean, like I said, we didn't really spread the ball all that much last week. Deontay and George had most of the targets and catches. Eventually, we want to get there, right? Even when we get into the red zone, I mean, luckily we were able to run the ball this time. But yeah, I took the peek at the weather, especially you got to do it this time of year. It looks like it might be raining for the whole game. Who's that going to benefit?
I can see that benefiting us. I think the Jags have ETN and he's a fucking beast, but if if we can kind of contain it and in a sense make the Jags a little bit more one dimensional, uh, just because it is going to be tougher to throw the ball around. I think the combo of Najee and Warren and maybe even Darnell blocking for them, and I think our run game is surprisingly dynamic. Especially Warren he has a very very high explosive run rate. I think he's
Mm-hmm.
like
Yeah.
I want to say
His
18th
average or 18th and what average?
18th in the league, like explosive runs,
Wow.
which is like surprisingly good for the amount of burn that he gets. You know, he's a very very real RB2. He's
I
not
say
getting all
it's
the.
getting close to 50-50. Let me take a peek at the stats this past week. I thought it was getting closer to 50-50, wasn't it?
Yeah, it is getting closer. I'm just saying, like he's 18th in the league, but it's not like he's a bell cow kind of back, you know? Like he's not getting all of these
Uh,
touches.
no,
So
no,
people
never.
are
I
gonna.
am wrong. But check this out. Najee 14 carries, 53 yards, 3.8 average. Warren 6 carries, 32 yards, 5.3 average.
There you go.
This still the parity is still there, dude. Um, but yeah, we got to run the ball, minimize that run. Run defense has looked a little bit better this year. Actually, no. That Freeman guy was actually kind of tearing us up. He had a 5.5 average on the Rams. The Rams ran
Yeah,
it
he
a good
was.
amount of times. Shit.
And yeah, their run game looked
They kind of got
pretty
away from
good
that,
too.
I'd say, right? Once they thought they had Puka going, or yeah, Puka Nakua,
I think
right?
they
Yeah,
got down, and then we kind of put pressure on them to really start throwing the ball, and that's when it kind of played into our
you
hands a
you
bit.
you get Watt going and all that. I forgot my breakout player, my anytime touchdown. Let's do Deontay. It's been way too long. It's been way too
Oh,
long. He's had a game to get back into the system. He looked really good, and I heard whispers that he was only about 85%. Give him
there we
another
go.
week getting back into the swing of things. He had 5 catches, 79 yards. Long 30, dude, he had a 39 yard. He look, no, that
Yeah,
was a really good play actually. After the catch, was it like a 3rd and 8 and he's kind of just broke one, right? Oh yeah, Deontay, he's scoring a touchdown on Sunday. We're gonna get into like inside the 15, and Kenny's gonna throw a little dot in there, get Deontay his first touchdown in like 2 years. um yeah, I have really good feeling about that. I still don't know though. Speaking of feelings, I don't know how I feel about this game, because we got to move it to score predictions fairly soon here. We've had all this talk about how we look, the weather,
let's
the
see.
the
It's
narratives going into this game. Um, what are we gonna bring up?
right now the Steelers are at +2.5.
Plus 2.5. Um, both teams fairly healthy at this point, right? No one's really missing. I mean, we're missing Cam and Frymouth, but we're not expected to get them back at this point. Um, but yeah, what's is the over under out? Did you find that?
42.
Wow, wow, wow. Huh. Give me a second. I don't know if you want to give out your score predictions if you're ready for yours. Actually, I was pretty close last week. I think I said
Yeah, you were.
2017 and the score was 24-17. That is crazy. We had a couple comments saying, "Wow, pretty close," because we are never close. We have never been close.
I know we're not close.
we have
I mean,
That's the closest
we're
we've
just
been in a
throwing shit
year.
out, dude.
I mean, this is football, baby. It's the NFL. No one is ever gonna predict what's going on. I mean, this could be the game where we put up 30 and we win in our first blowout. Um, by the way, too, a lot of people have us and the Jags like stacked on each other in the power rankings. What do you think of that? Do we deserve to
I
be in
think
the top
that's
10
fair.
at this point?
I mean, our record like dictates that we're in the top 10. I think it's fair. I think the Jags look like a team that has a ton of potential and a ton of like offensive talent.
Mm-hmm.
That just needs some tweaking to really kind of unlock all of it. And
Yeah.
we look like a team that's like just hanging around, honestly. As far as the power ranking goes, like no one really wants us there. So if we can go ahead and if we beat the Jags, I think it's gonna be like, okay, people are gonna start asking like, okay, are the Jaguars like good, or are they like just kind of mediocre?
They have 5
And then they're gonna be
wins.
like,
2 of them are against the Colts. They beat the Bills in Europe while they stood there the whole week, because they had another game in Europe the week before, right?
the Falcons, which they barely beat.
And then they barely beat the Saints. The NFC South is a complete shithole. Pretty much every year besides the Tom Brady years, right, with the Bucks. Um, Trying to think, do we have any common opponents at this point? I guess the Texans, whom we've both lost to by 20 plus. I don't know. The
Oh, I'm
Falcons was
lying.
23-7. You're lying. You lying piece
No,
of
yeah,
shit.
I'm lying. I remember actually, I'm misremembering. I remember I was thinking of the Bills game. The Falcons, they kind of beat them pretty handily, but that's also with like Desmond Ritter's what like second start.
Ritter threw 2 picks that game.
Yeah, yeah. Ritter basically gave the game away. I remember it being close, kind of close, up until Ritter just kept throwing picks in the red zone, and then that's when that was kind of like, okay, it's over.
All right. Well, Texans won in Jacksonville, by the way, that 37-17 game. CJ Stroud probably on pace for offensive rookie of the year, but yeah, we got to crank out a score here, and my dick is telling me Steelers, right? But my brain is saying Jags because that's what I predicted when I went down the 17-game schedule at the beginning of the year. I had us going into this game at 5-1, so I'm ready to throw that out the window now. All right, let's just go for it. If you're ready, let's just do score predictions. Steelers Jags week 8.
All right, I'm gonna say Jags.
Over
24.
under 42. Steelers plus 2.5. All right, you ready? Go.
Say Jags 24, Steelers 17.
Oh man. All right. Hear me out here. No, that's 41, isn't it?
Yeah, it is under.
Yeah. Hear me out. So the rain's gonna be going. I did honestly. I saw enough in that fourth quarter that I'm flipping it. Yeah, Steelers 27, Jags 20. Book it. Kenny's getting his lick back on Trevor. This is gonna be a great game. This is honestly one of my favorite games that I was looking forward to at the beginning of the year, and I'm ready. It's finally here. We're getting to the late October. I'm ready for this homestand. 3 games in a row at home. It's gonna be fucking awesome. But yeah, any closing thoughts, buddy?
No, I think this is gonna be a good one. I think it's gonna be it might be a game that launches us into like a second tier team. You know, like it's like, oh shit, like these guys, they're looking legit. You know.
Right. Yeah, but we'll see what happens. So obviously, this game could put us into like the playoffs, the talk and all that. Actually, this another thing too. This could have big playoff implications. You know, once we really start getting to like tiebreakers and shit. I mean, the first one is head to head. So let's say we both end up like 11-6. They're gonna look at this game. I'd really like for us to have this one.
That's
but
true.
yeah, a lot of narratives. I'm ready for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Leave a rating on whatever podcast platform you're listening to: Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Yeah, let's get to it. Here we go, Steelers. Peace out.